Arcade Perfect, my arse.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to another Arcade Perfect My Arse. Now this is going to be the final Arcade Perfect My Arse for 2014 and indeed my final video for this year. So anyway, let's hope it's a good one. Like, without much further ado, let me batter on. This, sorry, I completely forgot to tell you what game this is. In fact, I'm going to zoom in just a wee bit so you can't see the edge of my main cab. This is Bionic Commando. Now, I played a fair bit of this game on the Amiga. It was one of the sort of first arcade conversions to come out on the sort of 16-bit machines, and it was famous for having a very jolly little tune. And this was made by Capcom. Come on. Ah, bollocks. Nice big chunky graphics. Oh, let's continue. Yeah, it's quite a unique game. It's with you've got the extendable arm thing which you fire up and grab onto a platform above you. Now, I'm not quite sure how the how the extra weapons thing works. No, oh, I thought I was going to fall at my death there. Dearie me. Now, I'm guessing this used similar, if not identical, hardware to Ghosts and Goblins. It does have a kind of similar look to it. Now, I'm doing something which I would never normally do, and that is using continues for an arcade game, because arcade games are all about the challenge and any monkey can just keep firing in coins, but for the purpose of this game it gets extremely boring if you just see me playing the same little bit over and over and over again. Now, I know this game did feature it featured a game called Bionic Commando, which came out on the Xbox 360, and it may have came out on the PlayStation 3 as well. But to be honest, it was like a complete remake of this, but done using modern technology. I remember seeing my mate playing it, and really it's absolutely nothing like this game. Yeah, you've got the hook thing, but I don't own the game, and I wasn't going to include it in this because it's really nothing like. Damn it, it's really nothing like the arcade one. Quick, before you get electrocuted. But yeah, it's a game I've not really played very much, and it's actually a nice little game. It does remind me very much of kind of Ghosts and Goblins, but with bionic arms and things. So anyway, guys, listen, that is the arcade one. Let's crack on and have a look at some home versions.
Right then, this is the Amstrad CPC 464. Want to start. Rewind to 00, then start tape. Oh, bollocks to that. Oh, here we go. Right, now I'm not getting any sound. What's going on? Oh, I've got sound now. Okay, right, I've actually got some nice sound for the firing an arm. Now, first impressions is you can hardly see anything. It looks exactly like a Spectrum, which isn't particularly good. As we all know, the Amstrad can do some cracking conversions when it's done properly. But this, now I haven't actually looked at the Spectrum one yet, so I can't really comment, but it certainly looks more akin to a Spectrum one than an Amstrad one. Now, as we all know, the Amstrad, I think because it's got the same processor as the Spectrum, I think, am I right? Sometimes it does get sloppy, lazy conversions of Spectrum games. Now I've got to say, it plays rather nicely, but the scrolling's not the greatest. Complete lack of colour. Sound effects aren't too bad, I suppose, but you know, could they not have made this nice chunky sprites? I mean, when Amstrad does a game properly, it will usually blow away all the other 8 bits. But all said and done, it does actually, damn it, it does actually play fairly well. Kill the bees. Ah, bollocks. Don't shoot the bees. I think it's rather, let's go for another game. It's quite amusing the fact that he's a Bionic Commando and yet he can get killed with a swarm of bees. Obviously a complete lack of sound or lack of music. Yeah, the scrolling's not the greatest. It's going to be interesting to actually see the Spectrum and compare it with this. I mean, they've not even chosen to use any colour, and I mean, look at the title screen at the bottom, the logo, it's black, blue and green. But like I says, it's actually fairly playable. We don't want to do that, we want to... That's better. Ah, damn it. So right, you don't shoot the bee's nest or the wasp's nest, whatever the hell it is. Come on. Yeah, it's certainly a bit of a lazy port, I have to say. No, we don't want to go up there. What? No, I don't want to shoot him. What are you doing, you fool? Right, anyway guys, that is the Amstrad version. Let's crack on. Okay, this is the Atari ST one. Now, I did have a crack at recording this one earlier on, and it seemed to kind of crash mid-game, so we'll see how we go on with this. Yeah, now this is actually, graphically wise and sonically, this actually plays really, really well. Nice cartoon looking graphics, quite authentic to the arcade. The only thing I don't like about this version is it's got that sort of push scrolling rather than smooth kind of screen scrolling. Right, I can't appear to actually get across there. That's it. Ah, damn it. Don't disturb the bees. Yeah, it looks really, really nice. Let's get this power up. I'm not quite sure what these things do. Ah, damn it. But it plays really well. It's nice and responsive controls. Oh, get that, whatever that is. That looks like some big meaty gun. Ah, bollocks. Ah, it's away. Right, base is up this way. Let's give this another go. Yeah, but it's got a nice rendition of the arcade tune as well. I'm sure I had this on my ST, or it might have been the Amiga one, and I remember being quite happy with it, playing it a fair bit, although I could never get very far, I must admit. Come on. That's it. Damn it. Whoa. That was close. What I need to try and do is pick up some of these power-ups. Ah, right, so I've now got double fire, which is a bit better. Come on! But yeah, this is an excellent version. Really, really good. Good sound. Oh, come on. Damn it, right, come on, get this. How did I change? Do you use a button or something? I'm really not too sure. Ah, balls. Ah, arse. Right, I'm obviously... Right, anyway guys, listen, that's a Atari ST one, and that's a really good version. Right, this is the Commodore 64 version. Now, I believe there are actually two versions of this release for the C64. This one appears to be, well, Capcom, developed by Pacific Dataworks International. Now, I don't think I've ever actually tried this one. So, let's see, number of players 1, start game, F1. Let's give this a blast. Okay, right, this version appears to be a multi-load, which I don't think the other one was. It's quite dinky wee graphics. Come on, die. Ah, balls. Yeah, it's a bit different. It certainly plays nice enough. The wee tune is quite jolly. I'm not quite sure why this would be a multi-load. I think the other version is a non-multi-load one. Now it's it kind of reminds me of what an NES version of this game would be, sort of wee short stubby kind of sprites. Yeah, I mean it certainly plays well enough. The tune isn't as good as it could probably be, but it's yeah, I mean it's certainly playable enough, and the sprites are quite well animated, and they look alright. Yeah, I certainly know the C64 could have done a better version of the tune. You know, when this game came out, they were knocking out some fantastic SID tunes. This one also seems to have a slightly different layout from the arcade one. Why can't I reach that platform? But yeah, I mean it's certainly playable enough. Now I'm guessing this one was this released for the American market? I'm really not too sure. I can't seem to... Yeah, this doesn't seem to want to reach. Yeah, the sprites for the baddies don't really look that much like the arcade ones. They look more like wee Commando, out of the original Commando sort of people. This isn't quite why this is a multi-load game. I'm really not too sure. Maybe the levels are massive, I don't know. But it's not bad. It's not bad. It's well, I think what we need to do is have a look at the other one. So anyway, listen, I'm not even going to play any more of that. That is the first version of the C64 one. Let's take a look at the second one. Okay, this is the second version of Bionic Commando. This was by Software Creations, did that say? Certainly got a completely different front screen. Press fire to play. Now this is the one I can remember with excellent sound. There we go, yeah. This is the one I played back in the day. Now, if I remember rightly, this is a excellent version. I mean, the sound is just fantastic. Super responsive. Yeah, it's got a tune to die for as well. I don't know who did the tune, Rob Hubbard, but I'm really not too sure. But you can see there the scrolling is excellent as well. Nice and smooth, just the way it should be. Oh! Come on! Why can't I just fall off here and hopefully don't die? But it's, yeah, it plays really well. It's fast, it's responsive. It's certainly got the best music of all the versions that I've looked at so far. Right, come on, let's get this gun. It's better. Hey. Oh, don't die now, please no. Yeah, I mean the sprites are very small, but you know what, they look really good. Hey, there we go. Now is this going to be a multi-load job? I'm really not too sure. We shall soon find out. There you go, it's not even a multi-load, so you know, it's got different tune in it as well. Well, you didn't get to see very much of level 2 unfortunately. Anyway guys, listen, that's a cracking version. And that is on the Commodore 64. Let's move on.
Bionic Commando.
There we go, yep, as the title of the game has told you, this is called Bionic Commando Elite Forces. Now this is on the Game Boy Color. Right away you can tell it's obviously going to do its own thing again. So you get to pick, do you want to be the bird or bloke? Let's go for bird. And we don't really want to put a name in, we'll call it Mutt. Right, it seems to have the same sort of layout to the Game Boy Color one. Oh, dearie me. Actually, the animation is actually quite nice. Yeah, it's pretty smooth running animation. I quite like that actually. Again, yeah, similar to the original Game Boy one. It's gone for its own take on the game. It's using the same game mechanics. But I've got to say, it actually plays and looks rather nice. But is it a faithful conversion of the arcade game? I don't think it is. But if Bionic Commando is your thing, then I'm sure this will float your boat as well. Yeah, I mean the animation is excellent. And it's quite nice to have the chance to be a bird as well in a game. You don't get that option very often. Come on! He didn't want to die. Up. It's a nice wee tune playing as well. So, yep, anyway, listen, I'm going to leave that at that. That is Game Boy Color again. It's not based on the arcade one, it's got the same game mechanics, but it looks actually quite a nice little game in its own right. So let's crack on, guys. Right, this is Bionic Commando and this is on the original Game Boy. As with a lot of these sort of console conversions, they always seem to add in a little extra to obviously give you value for money. Right, anyway, we don't really want to watch any of this shite. Let's Bionic Commando, okay. Yep, whatever. Right, come on, let's just get to the meat and bones of the game. Okay, right. First off, right, okay, it looks it's not quite the arcade one. Oops, let's pick that thing up. It's obviously based on the arcade one, but it's kind of got its own levels. Graphically wise, this is a nice little game. But yeah, it's certainly not faithful to the arcade one as far as graphics or sort of like level goes, you know, level layout goes. It's like a kind of remix. Well, in fact, it's not even a remix. It's taken the essence of Bionic Commando and sort of done its own thing, which seems to be quite a common thing with consoles. I suppose what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it more appealing to the market. But it's certainly, you couldn't call it a conversion of the arcade one. Come on, how did I get up there? Ah. Up an extra life, whoops. And this one uses two buttons. You've got one for firing and you've got one for you've got one for firing bullets and you've got one for firing this sort of bionic hand thing. That. Can I go in there? No. I'm guessing I need to find some sort of key or something to get into that door at the top. Anyway, listen guys, that's enough of this one. This is Bionic Commando on the Game Boy. Obviously it's not based on the same arcade levels, it's sort of it's done its own thing, so let's crack on and look at some others. Okay, this is the NES version, and it looks like it's done its the usual putting its own sort of front end onto these games. Right, let's just skip to the game. Right, it seems similar to the Game Boy ones we're looking at with the wee kind of map type front end thing. Right, come on, let's just, it looks like you can kind of pick weapons or something, but I'm just going to get straight into the game. Right, wait a minute, how do we get up? Come on, how do we get up? Right, I can't seem to push up to get up here. I'm not too sure what's happening. Ah, there we go, that's better. Come on, let me up. Right, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It doesn't appear to want to let me climb up to the top there. Right, okay. It seems a bit hit or miss. Right, well, right away we can see here, guys, it's again, it's not right. Yeah, here we go. It's oh, come on, we don't want any of this shite. Yeah, it's a completely different take on the arcade one. They've obviously factored in inside areas. You've got this bit here, which isn't in the arcade one. So it's like an enhanced version, if you will. Right, come on, I can't be arsed with this. How do we get out? No. Right, we're back out again. So yeah, yeah. But anyway, listen, I've probably seen enough of this one. As you can tell, there, guys, it's really nothing like the arcade one, other than the wee guy that you control has got the extendable arm, and that is about it. So yep, that is the NES one. Okay, guys, this is the ZX Spectrum one. Now, it had options a second ago, so let's see, how do we start? Keyboard 4 for Kempston. Press enter to start. Right, okay. Oof. Blimey, it's certainly quick enough. Now it's using obviously the monochrome graphics again, which we can come to expect in the Spectrum. Although saying that, it has got some coloured backgrounds. It's pretty responsive, I've got to say. It's certainly very quick. Haha, bollocks. Yeah, it certainly moves very, very quick. And it controls pretty well as well. Come on! Damn it, so I need to fire over here. Oops, that's it. That'll do. It's a slightly bizarre looking sprite, but the enemy sprites seem to look quite authentic, and they seem to run about pretty well with some decent animation. That noise there when you get killed is probably the most common Spectrum sound effect, bar none. It must have been a quite easy sound effect to program back in the day. Game over, damn it. Now let's go for another wee shot. That's actually not half bad. Quite nicely detailed, damn it. Nicely detailed graphics. I says the background's even got some green. Obviously you've got the usual sort of attribute problems with the Spectrum. In fact, there's no colour clash, I'm talking rubbish, but what you do have is when you're against like a green background, it can be a wee bit difficult to actually see the main character, but I'm just I'm whinging for the sake of whinging. This isn't actually half bad at all. I mean, a lot of Spectrum games tended to kind of go for the come on, you can bugger off. Just go for the monochrome look for the whole game, but this is actually no, I didn't even see him there. This is at least attempted to use some colour, and it looks rather nice. Obviously a bit of a lacky sound, only a few wee spot effects and that kind of stuff, but anyway, yeah, listen guys, that's not bad. That is Bionic Commando, and that is on the ZX Spectrum.
Okay, this is the Commodore Amiga. Now, this is actually getting played on proper Amiga, because I couldn't get it working properly using emulation. So, how do we start? Let's turn the sound up a wee bit, because the Amiga's got quite a funky wee soundtrack. Now, I've played this a fair bit on my Amiga, damn it, and I remember being fairly impressed with it. I mean, graphically wise, it looks really nice. It probably looks a bit better than the Atari ST one actually, although the thing that I don't like about this version, which is pretty much inexcusable for the Amiga, is the horrible scrolling. You know, you get to the edge of the screen and then it kind of pushes it. That's not a very good look, guys. I mean, this could have easily have had silky smooth scrolling. I mean, it plays really well, and I would go as far as to say if the scrolling had been sorted out, then this should have been a utterly fantastic version. I mean, it's got good sound, graphics look good, It's quick, the movement's excellent. All in all, a really good conversion. Just let down by that horrible scrolling. I'm not quite sure, how do you use the other weapons? That's something I've never actually managed to figure out. I mean, yeah, this is a good version, like I says, if it just sort of just scrolling out. But I'm guessing this may well have just been a straight port of the ST. That seemed to be a very sort of prevalent thing they done back in the day. They'd bring out one version for the ST and Amiga. Now, why did I die instantly? No idea what happened there. But you know, the graphics move nice, they're quick, good colour. Yeah, decent enough conversion apart from this scrolling. Damn it, that was silly. They plummet to my doom. Ah, bollocks. Whoa! Oh, that was close. Yeah, okay. Last life. It's certainly not the easiest version. It was quite challenging. Anyway guys, listen, that is probably the second last version we're going to look at. Let's crack on to the very last one. Okay guys, welcome to the very last version of Bionic Commando. This is, hang on a second, I need to adjust the screen a wee bit so I can get all of it in. That's better. Yeah, this is Bionic Commando and this is running on the original Xbox. It was released by Capcom as part of the Classics Arcade Collection. Cracking collection to pick up. There's absolutely stacks of stuff. All the classic Capcom stuff's there. So anyway, without much further ado, let's bash on with this. Now I'm guessing this is going to be another emulated version. So I expect it to be pretty much perfect. Graphics, as you would expect, are absolutely top notch because it is the arcade you're playing here. Come on, it's just a bit difficult trying to get the diagonals up, that's the only thing. It's better. Damn it. Nice big chunky graphics. Let's continue. It's not a game I've played that often, this, but it's it's actually it's quite a fun game. If frustrating at times when you're trying to obviously work your way along and then you get knocked off and you plummet to your death. Ah, balls. I notice the graphics of the main character seem to, oops, I don't want to do that. See me go a bit weird. You see there where you fire the gun thing? It looks alright there. Can I jump here? I'm not too sure. No. Yeah. Are they bats or something? Yeah, what you could really use here would be some way of jumping. Ah, okay. There you go. Now you could probably tell I managed that one easier than I did on virtually every other version apart from the Commodore 64, so the arcade one seems to be a bit slightly easier than some of the versions I've played anyway. But yeah, obviously if you want the full proper arcade experience, if you can't afford to pick up a Bionic Commando, I see there, look, it's kind of weird. That's obviously just the way it displays on my TV. Yeah, that's strange. Yeah, if you can't afford an arcade game, the full cabinet, and the chances of picking up a Bionic Commando cabinet are next to zero probably, then you can certainly do a lot worse than getting this collection. If you've got access to MAME, then obviously that's the way to go to play the full game. So anyway, yeah, listen guys, that is Bionic Commando and that is on the Xbox. So anyway, let's to summarise, whoops, nah bollocks. Let's just have that running on the background. Yep. Okay, to summarise, there's not been as many versions of this as I actually first thought. I mean, there was sort of versions that were lacking. There was nothing on the Mega Drive. I mean, this was quite an early arcade game. There was no version for the Mega Drive, no version for the SNES, no version for the Master System, which was quite surprising. This game, would imagine, would be absolutely top notch if it had a release on the 16-bit consoles, but it never. There is a version of this that came out on, I think it was the Xbox 360, called Bionic Commando, and it was basically, it's a name only, it's a bang up to date version, sort of like a la Tomb Raider first person sort of viewpoint type thing. I didn't feature that because A, I don't have the game, and B, it's a completely different game. So anyway, yeah, let's think what have we looked at. Amstrad, wasn't too impressed with that. It was pretty bad colour, completely monochrome. It didn't even play that well. Really, it could have been so much better. C64, there was two versions. The first one I looked at, it was alright, wasn't the greatest. The graphics didn't look that sort of realistic. The second version was utterly fantastic. A single load, fantastic music, best music out of all the versions I've looked at. Really smooth, cracking scrolling. You know, why these other versions had push scrolling I don't know, but this version was utterly superb. What else did we have? Well, the Game Boy. Now the Game Boy, the NES and the Game Boy Color, in fact, well, the Game Boy and the NES, they were quite similar. Really nothing to do with arcade apart from the game mechanic, i.e. you control a wee guy that's got an extendable hand, but totally different game. So you can't really compare these. You can't really say that they were proper conversions. Game Boy Color, again, it was different. It did its own thing. You had the choice of being a bird or a guy. It actually played nice, had really nice animation, but again, about the only thing it's got in common with the arcade version would be the name and the fact that your character's got this extendable hand thing and can shoot bullets. So yeah, these console versions really weren't anything like the arcade one. Atari ST and Atari Commodore Amiga, both really good versions, excellent sound, excellent graphics, very very fast, very playable. The only thing that was lacking in my mind would definitely be the scrolling. I don't know why they plumped for rubbish scrolling. So yeah, I think that is all the versions. I must have to do this from memory. I usually write down this summary, but yeah, because there weren't that many, I didn't think I would really need to do that. So let me think. The there's not a great deal to choose from. I'm going to go in third place. I am going to go for, now I'm going to exclude the console versions because they really weren't arcade, they weren't similar to the arcade, this is, other than the name and the character sort of thing. So third place I'm going to go for the Atari ST. Second place I'm going to go for the Commodore Amiga. It just looked that wee bit nicer, the sound was a bit better than ST, but there's really not a lot to choose between the two of them. In first place, it's an absolute no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. It's got to be the second Commodore 64 one I looked at. I think that was the one that was released in the UK. I think the first one I looked at was a USA only. But yeah, the Commodore 64 one, single load, brilliant graphics, brilliant scrolling, really looked like the arcade, sounds was the best of any version. It really felt like the arcade machine. So without a doubt, the gold medal goes to the C64 one. So that is it, guys. That is another Arcade Perfect My Arse. This is the last one of 2014. So yeah, anyway guys, listen, thank you very, in fact this will be the last video I'll be making this year. So thank you very much for all your support over the last 12 months. It's been an absolute blast. You know, I've done a lot of features, some have proved more popular than others. Certainly the Arcade Perfect and that was the year that was, seemed to be really popular. So like I says guys, thanks for all your support, thanks to everybody that's subscribed, thanks to everybody that's taken time to leave comments, I always appreciate that. Thank you for liking the videos. Obviously, as you guys maybe appreciate, the more interaction you have, i.e. subscribing, commenting, that helps to push my videos up and hopefully get me more subscribers. So thanks to all the support guys over the years, listen to me, over the last 12 months. Here's to a cracking 2015 for everybody. I wish you all the very best. And that is it guys. The last thing to say is thank you very much for watching.